What's up, guys and gals, and welcome back to the Nerd Castle. Today in the world of indie games, we're going to be taking a look at a title called Lost in the Open. Lost in the Open is a strategy tactical RPG with sort of like a roguelike bent to it, where it's basically the Warriors. Have you ever seen the movie The Warriors? You know, Warriors, come out and play. Like that movie right there. It's one of my favorite movies of all time. And the context of this game is basically the same as that title. In this game, you are a king that went to a diplomatic meeting. You were ambushed at that meeting and betrayed by your allies or by whoever it was that you were meeting up with. Your army gets slaughtered, and you and a couple of your bodyguards have to fight your way all the way back home to Coney Island in order to resume your throne and resume the war effort, I guess. And so today we're going to take a look at the game for about 30 minutes. We're going to see if it's something you wanted to add to your wish list, or if it's one of those games you would rather not play for yourself. If after watching this you did indeed want to get the title, I got a link for you down below in the description. You can check that out there. You can also find other associated links for the Nerd Castle, just in case you wanted to huddle up and snuggle and have even more Splattercat inside your life. But let's go ahead and hit this thing full force. We've got time to kill, and it's first impressions. So we've got difficulty selections right here. 3 different ones: merciful, indifferent, and nightmarish. Having played the game through on indifferent, I feel like I should probably go with merciful this time around, just because I got stomped out in round about 10 minutes playing on indifferent. It was quite a difficult tactical game, and I think it's probably going to be one that you have to practice at. So let's get some practice on the merciful mode, which I normally don't do in videos like this, but I don't know which one is the intended difficulty. It may be that merciful is how you're supposed to start the game off, and then once you've cut your teeth a little bit and gotten stronger, you move up to higher difficulties that are going to tax you even more. Earlier this day, you were lured into the city of Strotha under the guise of a strategic meeting. As dusk settled, Strotha assassins pounced on you. The ambush commenced with a slender assailant disguised as a servant lunging a dagger at you. Seated upon the guest throne in the court halls of Strotha Castle, you were caught entirely off guard. The dagger narrowly missed your heart as you recoiled just in the nick of time. Instead, it struck the side of your chest, penetrating deep into your flesh. You suffered a devastating stab wound. In time, it will prove fatal. Oh, so they've got like the Morgul blade thing going on right now. So we have a devastating stab wound trait. Okay. However, your elite bodyguards react immediately. They neutralized the assassin, pulled you out of your seat, and carried you out of the court halls. Most of your bodyguards were surrounded and eventually killed, but their resistance bought you time. Those carrying you were thus able to carve a path through Strotha Castle to the ground floor in search of an escape. Miraculously, the only 2 remaining bodyguards, Marsky and Volkver, discovered a hidden exit. How fortuitous! It led you directly to Temkow, the Fallen Forest, and that is where you find yourself now. Marsky and Volkver have light wounds from the fighting. They lose 45 HP. That's like half a health bar. I don't think that's light wounding, bro. I think that's actually... We've got some fingers and toes that have come off. The only remaining option is to march back to your kingdom, Rudame, traversing the perilous no man's land that separates Strotha from Rudum. I'm going to call it Rudum. I don't know how to say that, but I'm going to call it Rudum because it's easier to say than Rudame. I'm trying to get rid of a syllable here. I don't know, dude. I'm coming down with a cold or something, and so the less syllables we gotta speak, the better. Your prospects appear grim. Your wound will worsen rapidly. Despite the odds, Volkver and Marsky remain steadfast in protecting you at all costs. Okay, so we've got our empty event right here, and we've got locations that we can go to. Over on this side, we have an unknown event, and over on that side, we've got combat. I think it's probably best that we steer clear of combat for right now, just given the fact that I need opportunities to heal and get myself patched up. We're pretty beat up right now, and having seen what I've seen in this game, the fights are no joke. The AI is definitely going to come after you, so let's go ahead and we'll move over to the east a little bit, and the enemy's going to be chasing us. They're trying to catch us right now. We do not want to get caught, so a little bit of an FTL vibe there as well, where you've got kind of this armada behind you. Not really an armada since we're not at sea, but in the context of FTL and armada, an army that's trying to catch us. You notice a group of men that are digging suspiciously. A few keep watch, scanning the area. We've got a low unit count, so we can sneak closer and observe. Let's go ahead and do that. You move closer and see them uncover a chest. After some time, they pause, leaving 2 to guard it. Yeah, let's get it. You wait for the others to distance themselves, and then you confront the guards. So welcome on into our first battle. We've got enemies around here. So this game has positionally based combat. You really want to be in the slots. You see the ring around this guy's feet? That means he's defending from the front where he's facing. He's trying to parry, he's trying to duck, slip, and weave and stay out of the way of your hits, which is going to make you less efficient at attacking. But if we can get in from the back, you get all kinds of bonuses and all kinds of good things that happen. How far can he move? Do we know that information? Let's move over to here. We can face that way. Let's zoom in a little bit too so that you can see some of the details of the combat, because I do find that the models in this game are quite pretty. Hopefully they get some more animations in here, because I would say that that's actually my one reservation about the title, is that there's no animations as of right now. Guys just kind of slide along the ground and then bump into each other when they want to fight, and I would love to see them actually have swing animations and a little bit of camera work when you actually fight and square up with one another. We've only got a little bit of AP left, but we can raise our shield. I think that's a pretty good idea. So let's raise our shield very quickly. We're now blocking. And then we'll end his turn. It looks like he already took his turn, so we're moving last right now. Let's protect the king at all costs. So I'm going to have you turn that way so that we're all facing a proper direction right now. And then you are also going to raise your shield. I would like to see them actually raise their shield as well. So like while they're squaring up with the enemy, they shouldn't have their shield raised. It should be kind of like at a low ready. And then when you go into shield blocking, it should pop up and they should be holding up their shield like they are right now. So definitely some more animating work left to be done, or at least illustrating work left to be done. We'll end his turn with the block, and then the king, I'm going to pull him back by one. We're going to have him face this way, and since the king is kind of like the principal guy that we're trying to protect at the moment, he's the win-lose, I'm going to let the enemy do their thing, and then we'll see if we can do something different. So we absorb the blow right there. Does he get an attack of opportunity if I go right there? He does indeed. Okay. Let's turn our character up this way because we're now attacking from the flank, and we've got Bash. It does 13 to 20 damage. Let's smack him. And it looks like we did 15 damage right there to his overall armor. I think we've got another one in there that we can do, so let's get that armor sheared away. Didn't it say there was two guys? Where's the second guy at? I completely forgot about that detail. Huh. All right. We'll end the turn right there. He's fighting from the front. What's a shield bash gonna do? It bashes the target back with your shield a distance of 1 tile. Doesn't really deal too much damage though. Yeah, so you've got quite a bit less damage if you're attacking from the front right there. You can sort of like feel it inside of the hits. I think they could punch up the sound effects a little bit more too. And also these health bars, they're blocking my view of the battlefield. I don't know if there's a way to move those, or just kind of like get them out of the way, but right now they're sort of obscuring the majesty of combat. I can't help but wonder if there's probably a better way to get it done by maybe incorporating it into the ring that's underneath the feet, so like gray on one side for your armor, red on the other for your health possibly, and then you could just get rid of that entirely and just have like 2 numbers on there. But I do find that this UI is kind of in the way right now. Like I want to see the enemy model, and we've got health bars blocking everything off and sort of muddying the waters. Let's end the turn right there because he already did what he was supposed to do. I can bring the king in, but I'm going to swing him wide and force this guy to make a hard decision about eating attacks of opportunity. We're going to use the king kind of like a rogue right now in order to stab up the enemy from behind. Okay, big miss right there, and he absorbed that one, but he did get a bleed off on us. Let's keep attacking right here, and down he goes. Sweet, we got XP, so we need 20 in order to hit level 2. Marks a kill that was made by the party member. The number represents the level of the slain enemy. Okay, so higher level enemies give better XP. That's understandable. That's easy to digest. The guards fall and you loot their valuables. The chest is sturdy and locked, needing a key to open. You gain 5 gold. Oh, so okay, you ignore the chest and loot the area instead. You gain 7 gold and 8 food. All right, I kind of wanted the chest, but we don't have a key, so it's a little bit of a bamboozle. A little bit disappointed, but I think we can make it. Off in the distance, you notice a hill amidst the forest. Upon closer inspection, you spot an old, decrepit mine shaft carved into the side of the hill. As you approach, it becomes clear that the mine shaft is long abandoned, appearing as if it has already been ransacked. We can enter, I guess. Inside, most of the mine shaft has been cleared out. However, at the end of the tunnel, you spot some untapped iron veins in a deep, dark hole. The iron veins can be harvested with the right tools. At the same time, something faintly glimmers inside the hole. Entering without proper equipment will be risky. I don't have any equipment at all right now, so I guess we'll just leave it all alone. I definitely don't want them to mine with our weapons. That'd be a terrible idea. We got to keep those things sharp, man. We're under attack from a lot of different directions. We made it 5 feet outside of town, and we had to stab a guy to death. You leave the ransacked mine shaft and continue on your way. We have no choice but battle right now. But we do, I think that's a recruitment icon right there. We might be able to get ourselves a new pack of guys to help us out and grow the size of our army, which will give us a lot more tactical options as we move along. The glow of campfires reveals a bandit hideout. Can I scout it maybe and see how many there are? There's only 3 of us right now. Let's avoid the camp. With quiet steps, you avoid the camp and continue forward. A recruitment event. Panting heavily, brought low and on the verge of collapse, you stumble forward through the fallen forest of Temkau. The trees envelop you and your hirelings in darkness and silence. Emerging from behind a pair of thick trunks, two strange figures cloaked in robes block your path in a slow and calculated fashion. They observe you with calm authority, inviting you and only you to approach them. You believe you hear a faint yet clear whisper, accept doom or seek repentance. This is the start of the repentance questline. If you decline it, you will begin impossible mode. For now, you have no choice but to accept the cultists' invitation. They blindfold you and take you to an unknown location and do a ritual. Your devastating stab wound has now been healed. A sliver of mercy has been afforded you. Do not waste it. You must survive Temkau and return to Rudum. Okay. You come upon a group of weary travelers gathered around a flickering campfire. They extend a warm welcome. 2 of the men approach and offer to join your cause. They reveal that they are brothers, and they will offer a discount if you recruit them both. Yeah, we just need guys, so let's take it. You pay the gold, and both brothers happily join your group. We've got a bandit enforcer and a bandit grunt. So Viamir and Herlin. We do have character sheets that we can look at over here where characters have different abilities, weapons, things that you can equip on them in order to give them a better chance at surviving in combat. They also can customize their abilities and gain new things as they gain levels. We've got a stash for storing our extra gear, so that's good. It looks like he's going to be a heavy brawler. So this guy's actually made to throw down. This guy has a little bit less on him. But this guy right here, this guy's tanky. Real tanky. Like, almost tankier if we use his effective HP. Almost as tanky as an elite bodyguard for a king, so that's good. Definitely could use him. We've got a safe event over there, or we can go pick a fight with our new guys. Let's go pick a fight with our new guys, because we need to get some treasures and things. The ground shakes as Ursadons lumber into view. Is it Ursadon friendly? Oh, it's a bear. Okay. So we all get to do our thing first. Let's draw everybody into something that resembles a line over here. He's already facing the right way. You come back over this way, and we'll face you that way. You move up. I don't have raised shield right now, so that's a little bit of a problem. You come in over here and maybe face that way a little bit. Raise your shield. We'll end the turn on that side. And then what does this guy do? He's got Intimidate, Demoralize. Enemy target loses 30% damage and 20 protection rating. Okay, we'll keep him kind of like off to the side over here. And we'll end the turn right there. They don't have enough to attack with, so that's good for us. Pull the king back and close the line real fast. What do you do? Evasion. Using a combination of footwork and dexterity, the user adeptly increases their ability to dodge attacks. Okay, he can dodge tank maybe. Let's move him up to there and let's try that out on him. We've got evasion. No spell effect or anything for that. Yeah, they should definitely change stances. There should be... It feels very sterile right now visually, which kind of surprises me given the fact that the actual character sprites themselves seem to be pretty good. What's going on with a bear over here? What can we do with a bear? So whose turn is it? Your turn? I guess we did nothing right there? I don't really know what to say about that one. I guess he's just absorbing all of our attacks? Maybe I've got to move around behind him. Good dodge. Let's take the king, and we'll start a wide flank over to there and try to get around behind him. I very much like, though, that the sprite itself changes based on the direction that they're facing. Like, they've actually gone through, and they've made 8 different sprites for, like, well, maybe not. They might be just mirroring them. But anyways, they've made individual sprites for the rotation of the units out here, so that's not too bad. I like that a bit. Now, let's end the turn right there. And maybe we got to get around behind these guys to be effective at fighting them, because we can't hurt them from the front, so... Move over to there. Move in behind him. Yeah, okay, so we've actually got to, like, flank and spank these guys. Fair enough. Oh, they're intimidating me right now as well. Do they just have, like, an intimidating aura? What do they have right here? Imposing presence. So they just get that intimidate ability that our bully bruiser guy has. They have that just as an aura. All right. That's good to know. They have thick fur as well, which makes their armor more efficient. Okay, and so that explains why it was disappearing. We've actually got to kind of like look into these units before we fight them. Whose turn is this? Your turn? You don't have anything left that you can do, so we got to wait for next turn in order to get after him here. You just take the attack of opportunity, I guess, to get in behind him. We're not hurting him much, though, which kind of concerns me. You intimidate him, so demoralizing a bear. That's a scary guy right there if he can demoralize a bear. I respect it. End that turn. Let them do their thing. So he's going to turn himself around. I'm all right with that. Ow, a couple of big hits right there. How did he stun somebody that was behind him? I don't see any ability that's indicated on these characters to show that they have an AoE stun, but we've got a heroic strike over here. We can try for that, but with the amount of armor these things have on them, okay, I mean, we did something. That's good. Like, we actually got some progress on one of them. Now we've got you. Okay, alright, now we're starting to get through it. Maybe we'll be okay here. Maybe it's just the fact that they were bears that kind of intimidated me to no end. Alright, we're on to the actual health bar. That's good. We need some bear sound effects over here, too, like a like as they're attacking and whatnot. There's a lot of things missing from this demo right now that leave it feeling, as I said, pretty sterile. Just keep fighting through. I think we've got this guy on this turn if our damage comes through in a way that we want it to. Somebody's going to have to rotate on this guy. We got to keep him faced one way or another. Good stuff. So one bear goes down. That frees up other units to get in on this brawl over on this side, and I can maybe extricate him from the situation so that he doesn't die. Because I'm pretty sure if your character dies in this game, he is gone for good. Let's do a wide flank over here. We'll get as many units behind him as we possibly can. Woo! 20 damage hit is no joke. Okay, the king has no armor left, which is obviously not ideal. King, move into that position of weakness for him. Face him. You can stay in for like one more turn, then I want you to get out. We'll get a little bit of damage right there. He's on a flank, so we should start dealing some actual tangible damage here. You get in behind him. I want this guy just facing his butt always at something that can harm him. Let's intimidate him one more time and demoralize him. Glad I did that. The damage seems to be considerably lower when you've got Intimidate on him. Unfortunately, his facing right now is not ideal. But the king doesn't really seem to care. The king is just doing his thing back here. 28, that's great. I'll take that for sure. All right. Good stuff. We are the Bear Slayers, the king of bear murder. We've got an Ursidon Tusk. An Ursidon Tusk, valued for its size and unique patterns, is a symbol of power and prestige made rare by the danger of the hunt. This item is worth more to traders, and it will sell for its full gold value rather than half. Oh, sick, dude. So, like, it's almost got a little bit of a board game feeling to it, I guess. I suppose that's what happened. He got both of the bears. We're never going to hear the end of this around the campfire, dude. Volkver's going to non-stop be talking about the fact that he was the guy that took down 2 bears in one fight. With the Ursidons defeated, you strip the tusks and gather their meat for later. You gain 61 food and some tusks. Okay, we've got a couple of level ups over here. Let's see what that kind of denotes. So it looks like we can take a number of different abilities. We can get Daunting Strike, which forces the enemy to turn towards you. You can get Crippling Blow. It hits a weak spot that lowers the enemy's accuracy and also lowers their movement speed and initiative. We can get Immovable, which increases your armor rating, which I'm guessing is just flat reduction of enemy damage. Yeah, it's direct flat damage reduction, so that's an ability. We also cannot be moved around. I'm going to go with that, because these guys are kind of tanky, and so I would like them to be... I would like them to be able to hold the line and not get, you know, torn asunder. Oh, and it looks like it's randomized, too. This other bodyguard gets a completely different selection of abilities. He got Crippling Blow in there. Dazing Strike. Attack the enemy to induce a state of disorientation. Lasts for a turn and lowers their damage by 50% and their accuracy rating by 30%. Solidarity. At the start of this character's turn, each ally within 1 tile gives him plus 10% damage until the end of this turn. 10% more damage is not going to be a lot. But if we can maintain adjacency, we can get 20%, which I guess is like 1 to 2 damage, 2 to 4 damage, depending on how the battlefield's laid out. Or we can take skill points and customize one of his abilities. Let's do that. So we can sharpen the edge and give him a higher chance to crit. We can get a higher accuracy rating, and we can lower the variation of his damage. Oh, you can only pick one side. Gotcha. Okay, so a 30% chance to make the enemy bleed. I like that. I'll take that right there. We'll just turn him into like an auto attack god. That sounds okay. We can go to a trader, or we can go for a safe event over here. It looks like we regenerate as we're walking, I think. Within a quiet, peaceful area, you come across an infirmary and step inside. Inside, a physician and an apprentice recognize you. They offer a quick checkup for any minor injuries. Snap goes the blue glove. Bend over, sir. After the checkup, the physician offers his services for more extensive healing. Do you have anything to trade? The physician shows you what he has to offer along with access to his workshop. Okay, we've got a ring over here that gives plus 5 protection rating. What does protection rating do for us? It's a percentage of damage reduced. Okay, so it's like 10% damage reduction. I do like that it keeps the merchant window open here as you're browsing. I like that very much. He has the lowest armor, so I feel like a 10% damage reduction for him would be a good idea. Let me get the ring, and we'll put that on him. Oh, it's plus 5, so he's got a 5% damage reduction. That's not nearly as impressive. We got 2 Ursidon Tusks. Man. I'll probably sell them. That scared me because there was no jingly coin sound when I dragged those over. Definitely some details here. I hesitate to say, like, it's a cool looking game with a neat art style, but there are a lot of missing details right now just for core fundamental audio-visual gameplay that would actually sort of, if I was making the game, would kind of keep me away from putting out a demo. But maybe he was doing it to bring in just like feedback of the core gameplay systems. We can get a bunch of protection rating right there on that Peridot ring. Let's get that. And then maybe we'll slap that in with you right there. So he's got quite a bit more health, which actually makes him better than the bodyguards now. Well, barely, but still, that also gave him 15% damage reduction outside of, so as it works right now, armor rating, it only reduces the damage by that amount so long as your armor is remaining. And so protection rating is kind of like universal protection, so it doesn't matter if you're on health or if you're on anything else. Let's go over to the shop, and we'll see what the shop's got. Inside Strathian outlaw territory, you see smoke rising from a trading post. As you approach, it becomes clear that the compound is heavily guarded, allowing peaceful trade to flourish. Okay, let's open up the market. What you got for me? So we've got like helmets, we've got pants, we've got some of those tools that previous events wanted us to have, like skeleton keys, but we don't have a lot of money at the moment. Let's get a helmet, because that's 2 more armor rating, which means it'll give us more armor as well. Yeah, that bumped him up to 90, and he's also reducing each hit by 9 damage now, and considering most attacks seem to do 13 to 20, that means that you changed a 13 to 20-ish into like a 4 to 11, not even taking into account protection rating, which is too low right now to actually matter. Oh, can I go back in there? Oh no, dude, I closed it out. I was gonna buy a shovel or something. Let's go for recruiting over here. As you journey deeper into the forest, a man approaches with a calm, measured step. He greets you warmly and with a composed demeanor swears fealty to your cause. I mean, what if he's a spy, though? We're being hunted inside this area right now by the king, like the actual guy in charge. I don't know if I just trust random strangers that walked up on me in the midst of the woods that are owned by my enemy and be like, hey, sir, you want to be my best friend? Don't mind me. I'm a rogue. I stand in the back lines with a dagger. I'm like, guards, kill him. Maybe I'm a little bit crazy, but we'll take him. He joins your group. Oh, he's a loyalist. Okay, he's a spearman. So I guess he's like a remnant of what we used to have. Ooh, and he's got like a full-on halberd. Although on the icons right there, the photoshopping is a little bit sloppy. You can see white dots running around it right there, so they should probably redo that icon real fast. Just to quickly take a tool and just tell Photoshop to pull that on out of there. He's got attack of opportunity. Does he have 2 range on the spear? Because if he can fight from the back line behind everybody else, that'd be great. Yeah, he attacks the enemy from 2 tiles away. Sick, dude. All right, I'll take that. That's good. We need to take a fight. We're like out of everything right now. I need to get some money back up and running, just in case these recruitment jobs over here end up costing money. So let's see what's at this battle event over on this side. Other little details they could easily add is as you walk through forest tiles, think about the things that would happen if you have undisturbed wilderness and characters are walking through it. So the map is a little bit static. I would suggest have the water undulate a little bit back here by dividing these into strips with some of them in the foreground and in the background along deeper lines, so that they go up and down and they rise and they swell and they move back and forth so that you don't have to remake the tile. From there, when you walk through a forest, like little birds going up into the air and dispersing and being like, caw, caw, you know, as you go through each tile, the sounds of branches and twigs breaking as you go through, and men sort of grunting and struggling to move their armored selves through a very difficult to traverse environment. These are all things that if you get those in there, I feel like the game's going to be pretty good. In the distance, torchlight reveals a blockade ahead. Okay, let's attack the blockade. I don't know what's going to happen here, but we got 5 guys. They have many, many guys. Uh-oh, this might have been a mistake. Okay, so they've got barricades back here. They can get around their barricades. Let's bait them back a little bit further. I definitely don't want to attack barricades here if I can help it. And then we'll form lines back here. How strong are these guys? They don't have very much armor, so these guys should go down pretty quickly. Let's pull everybody back in. Oh, he's actually going to come out and try to scrum with us. Okay. I'm worried about the archers. Like, I feel like the archers might have a solid chance at dealing a lot of damage while we're trying to clean up the rest of these dorks. If he moves to there, he will have enough to attack, but that's making sure that the enemy, we can never get around behind him, so just raise your shield. And then we'll end turn right there. Raise your shield. End turn right there. Loyalist Spearman, I need you all the way back. Yep, fall back with everybody else. We're going to try to get crafty and turn a flank here. Alright, we're all lined up. Not too much. We can't delay a turn, but I do want the enemy to come out of their barricade. That is a principal advantage they have right now that is not good for me. Ow. You speared my spearmanses. But they did put the spearman up front, which I think will be okay. A little bit of damage out right there. Don't know what the archer did. There was no sound effect either. Oh, he's trapped behind his own spearman. Nice. Good. All right, so we've got a little bit of confusion inside the bandit lines right now. I'll take that. It's your turn. Let's just give this guy a solid thrashing, shall we? So his armor is now broken. You attack him. And we're going to try to turn a flank here. But I want you to keep facing that way. So kind of like a sideways strike. This spear guy over here, if you can start him up a little bit, yeah, and just get him tuned up ever so slightly, that'll be good. And then down along this bottom line, we're going to intimidate this guy and demoralize him. We're going to bash him twice. The king is ready to perform. Let's bring the king up this way. Man, the king hits like a truck compared to everybody else. You right here. How much does that cost me? 10 stamina? Put yourself in dodgy boy mode. Although I'm guessing they select targets based on what they're most likely to hit. Okay, enemy moves up. They really want my spearman dead. Okay, bleeds on him. Who are the archers? Oh, they're actually hitting people. Oh, I thought they were shooting at the barricade from the bullet flying. Okay, we may have to get the king clear of this. This is a little bit hectic for the king. Finish him off too, since that gives us room to step forward. And the turn. It needs to center the camera on whoever's turn it is, and also during fights, it needs to move the camera from the attacker to, especially with ranged attacks, it needs to show him doing the shot, move over to here, and then show the animation going through. It would look and feel a little bit better for tracking what's happening. Just keep stabbing away on that guy. Definitely kind of like some spear wall strategy going here, which you don't really see in games very often. You move forward to engage the spearman, please. He's bleeding, but we're making solid progress down here with the bandits as well. King's ready to take his turn. Let's do a heroic strike. 12 damage out of heroic strike, huh? Depression. My other little bandit bro over here is ready to go. Definitely need to move these, though. I want to see the battle as it stands. And these are just much too large for what they are. Okay, we'll keep softening this guy up. He's not going to go down on this turn, but we're making progress. Couple of stabs out right there, but dodge carried him through half of it. And they are through his armor now. Through the king's armor as well, which means the king is very open to ranged attacks, and the enemy is going to take advantage of that and start lobbing some missiles his way. And then we're back at the top of the round. Big crit right there gives us a kill. Move up on the spearman. Whose turn is it now? My other spearman. Finish this guy off. There we go, and it's time for us to move. So if you're free now, it's time for you to move over to here and neutralize an archer. He's going to have to take an attack of opportunity to get away from us. So that's perfectly fine. Face his direction. You, let's finish off right here. And back to the top of the round. You get in behind him. Big damage bonus right there. Hell yeah. You start closing the gap as well with the enemy. Oh, he's behind you. Jesus. I didn't even think about the fact that the spearman could turn around in combat. It doesn't lock your facing. Ooh, they were smart enough to go and shoot me from the side. Oh, firing a ranged weapon means that you get melee distraction. Good. There's so many games where ranged has no penalty for firing in melee combat while a guy is swinging a sword at him. Drives me nuts, dude. I hate that. Makes ranged characters way too powerful. And in most games, ranged characters are too powerful and don't even really have to play the game on the same stakes that everyone else does. I play a lot of action RPGs, and I've noticed that melee characters have to do things like learn mechanics and like dodge things, and like ranged characters just kind of avoid the whole thing by bombing from hella far away. And so I like it when ranged characters have malices to their behaviors and performances. King is over here. What does that do? It's yellow marked. It's root. Oh, okay, so there's certain types of terrain that you don't want to step on either. I was just trying to make sure that it wasn't brambles or anything else like that that was going to cut me up. You just fall back. You can't take any more damage, so let's get you out of combat. Ouchie. Okay, I'll take that. We dodged half of the stuff sent our way. And he's just going to die outright from auto attacks. Fair enough. You guys lock these guys down, so now they have to pay a penalty if they want to fire their weapon. We're going to try to encircle. So each person is going to get sort of concurrently wider around the enemy if they can manage it. Get my spearmen in there. I love spearmen, dude. Spearmen, lancers, just one of my favorite things in the entire world. Very, very cool. Spears are never like a mainline thing in video games either. Like, spears always kind of take a back seat to like Morning Stars and hammers and claymores and stuff like that. You go ahead and keep fleeing the field. Good. Wow, he's gonna do it again. All right. Well, for an easy cleanup, that's not that bad. You come down here. We'll go ahead and do some cudgel diplomacy. And I think we're good and out of here. Not bad. Not terrible. A lot of XP being thrown around. It still looks like these guys are actually getting the most kills, but I'm happy with this spearman. If I could get a few more spearmen so that I can have like an actual shield wall with spears behind it thrusting over the top, oof, we're going to be a meat grinder, dude. It's going to be ugly. We got leather shoulder pads, which give us plus 20 health. Not terrible. We've got some foreign coins. It sells for a full gold value, so it's just 15 bucks right there. After defeating the blockade, you sift through the wreckage in search of valuables. You take from the stockpile and move, ooh, 58 food and 42 gold, about 1 billion level ups. Well, that's a good place to be. What I'll say about this game is I like the sort of shield wall, intelligent, take a step forward, like maintain your flanks, keep an eye on your facing gameplay that they're tooling around with right here. But there is a lot of stuff presentation-wise that could be quite a bit better that would elevate this game from just sort of this sterile, flat, not noisy tactical game into something where, you know, the audio presentation and the animation presentation is syncing up with kind of the detail and the love that's in the portraits and in the maps and everything else and in the sprites. And so that's what I would focus on. This is one of those weird cases where I think they have solid gameplay. The game is just kind of let down by sound effects and missing animations and stuff like that. So at the point that they get that on in there, it seems like your characters are fairly customizable as you're playing through the game. Like, you can get 5 different abilities. Each ability can be specialized in 2 different ways. And these are specific to different classes and whatnot, too, that we've run across along the way. And so I feel like there's some pretty solid opportunities here for this game to be pretty rad. So that would be my advice, just from my first impressions, is that A, I feel like the armor and health bars, they obscure too much of the battlefield, and I kind of want to look at the whole thing and target more accurately. And with the health bars in the way, I felt like I was tripping over them. And then from there, just audio-visual, 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 the grunts and the shouts of melee and stabbing and dying and the sounds of bears attacking, and the little details that make this map feel a little bit more alive, like the birds and the crunching steps as you walk. Like, there are crunching steps right there, but I was talking about like twigs breaking and a guy being like, ah, shit, you know, as you're moving through. Like, little extra accompaniment right there to go along with it based on the actual biome of the tile that you're moving through. Stuff like that, and I feel like this game will be in pretty good shape from what I've seen so far. My name is Splattercat. I sift through the pile to find what's worthwhile in the world of indie games every single day so you don't have to. Today, we were playing Lost in the Open. Tomorrow, we'll play something else. Thanks for hanging out, and that's all I got for you. Bye, folks.